Troy University Public Radio is looking for help from its listeners this week. As Courtney Addison shows us, they are looking for financial support to help programming on the air.
The radio is something most people use on a day-to-day basis, and this week Troy University Public Radio is conducting its fall fundraising drive for the station, and the director of the Broadcast and Digital Network says it has a variety of programs that cater to everyone.
We carry various programming, something for everyone. We have, of course, the anchor programs, our morning edition in the morning, and All Things Considered in the afternoon. But then there's programs on the weekend. Of course, Prairie Home Companion with Garrison Keeler is one of the most popular programs we have.
Troy University Public Radio began over 30 years ago with WTSU-FM, but since then, Troy has made upgrades, including adding 2 different stations, WRWA in Dothan and WTJB that covers the Columbus-Phoenix City market. And while we may just hit a button to turn on the radio, it takes organizers a lot more to get things going, including money.
One misnomer about public radio, people think of it and they think, well, wow, that's free. That's absolutely wrong. We pay a lot for programming from NPR, such as Morning Edition, All Things Considered, and then from American Public Media, such as some of our programming on the weekend, along with other suppliers, is extremely expensive. And the monies that we get from our semi-annual fund drives all goes toward programming.
Johnson also added that the Troy Public Radio does get money from the university, but it also is very dependent on the donations. And if you're interested in helping, donations can be taken in many different ways.
You can go online, you can go to troy.edu and go through to public radio. There's a form there, or you can mail it. You can simply mail it to Troy University Public Radio, Troy, Alabama, Wallace Hall, 36082, we'll get it. Or you can call 1-800-800-6616.
Courtney Addison, Troy, TrojanVision News.
If you're interested in making a pledge to donate, you can contact Troy University Public Radio at 1-800-800-6616, and the fundraiser drive will run through Friday.
Well, there's a new way for Troy residents to get information about city services. The City of Troy has opened a new customer service call center. Citizens can now call one number, 566-0177, for all non-emergency inquiries on city services and information. The city feels the new call center is easy for residents who are unsure of which city department to call with concerns.
Whatever their city issue is, whatever the question is, it'll be able to be answered. So if their garbage was not picked up and they want to know why it wasn't picked up, they can go to 311 and find out. They can call or go through the app, and it'll also help us keep track of things. So we'll know when someone calls that something, is being done about their problem.
And once again, the number to call for the city's new customer call center is 566-0177. Also, smartphone users can download the Troy 311 app to use on their phones. The app will send messages to the call center as well as smartphone users who can search Troy 311 to find the app. Well, Christina, there are plenty of people out there with something special about them that many people just don't know.
You know what, you're right, Jamarlo, and today we start a series of profiles of people in the community that have something special about them that may not necessarily make headlines. Today we look at a student from Troy who shares her leadership skills with a variety of organizations. Many students come to college with dreams and goals they set to accomplish before graduation, whether it may be to join many organizations, receive a Chancellor's List honor, or just to make lifelong friends. But I sat down with one extraordinary student who decided to go above and beyond those goals.
I am the current University Activities Council Chairman, which means that I'm the president for this year. I am the president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, as well as I'm the Public Relations Chair for the National Pan-Atlantic Council, and I'm the Vice President of the Miss Elite Society, and I run track here for Troy.
And in addition to holding several positions in many different organizations, Tiffany explains that remaining a successful student is all about organization.
Time management. I actually, I have a planner, and I have a reminder in my phone, so everything that's on my planner is in my reminder. And sometimes I feel like I need a reminder for my reminder. You know, a lot of people are like, well, you're so busy, how do you do it? But it's like being busy, it forces me to do what I have to do, because it's just like, okay, well, I know like I have to go to this meeting at 7, therefore I need to finish this work before 7. My vision for UAC this year was to just get people out to the events more, the students out, because what students don't realize is that they do pay for all these events. We all pay, you know, a student activities fee. Therefore, you know, they should come out to the events, because, you know, having different events or events that students did like, and, you know, just bring those events back so they can participate in them.
Tiffany explains how she does not take any of her accomplishments and honors for granted and wanted to leave a few words of advice for younger students.
I'm involved with all these organizations, and, you know, I have my friends and my family, but sometimes I do forget, you know, of course I need to place God before all these things, or he will take all these positions and all these great things that I have accomplished away from me.
And we will have more of our Trojan Files throughout the month of October.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Montgomery, a decision by the Alabama Supreme Court from earlier this month could have an impact on how students finance their college education. The state's high court ruled on October 4th that non-custodial parents should no longer be legally required to help pay for the child's college expenses.
And in Greenville, a man has been charged with murder, accused of fatally shooting his 24-year-old girlfriend during a dispute over a Domino's game. Police said 29-year-old Jamal Taylor got into a fight over the game yesterday, pulled a gun and fired into the air. He's charged in the death of Ashley McDonald.
And in Decatur, law enforcement officials in Alabama say they want to put more troopers on the road. Secretary of Law Enforcement Spencer Collier says estimates show 1,100 state troopers are needed to adequately cover the state. He says Alabama now has around 400 troopers on patrol.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the cross-country teams were in action Saturday at home, and Danielle Percival was there to capture all the action. She'll have that and the latest details and more coming up in sports. And now Danielle Percival joins us with a look at sports. So Danielle, there was a lot of cross-country action that took place at home this weekend, and we also had an away game with a big conference win. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you're right, Christina. There was some action on campus, cross-country volleyball, but also some big games on the road, including a big victory for the football team. We'll get into that right now. Well, if close games are what you enjoy, then the Troy football team has been a must-watch team this season. The Cardiac Kids were at it again Saturday with a close win over Georgia State. Chris Williams scored his first career touchdown with a 54-yard catch and run with 3 minutes and 17 seconds left in the game that put Troy up 35-28. Troy trailed until late in the game when Jordan Chun tied it up with a 3-yard run with 9 minutes left. It was Chun's second touchdown of the day. Brandon Burks also added to the run game with 113 yards on 23 carries, while Williams finished with 4 catches for 152 yards. Eric Thomas also added to his streak with a touchdown and has now caught a touchdown in 8 straight games. For head coach Larry Blakeney, he knew it was another tough win for his team.
I think we created a lot of excitement for ourselves in here tonight, you know, across the field from Georgia State, and they did for us, we did for them, and we were able to get the better of it. I'm really proud of our football team for hanging in there and you know, taking care of business when it was on the line. The game was on the line, and you know, I kept looking at the clock and checking timeouts and looking, you know, to see, you know, what we're gonna have to do. And finally, we got some stops, and the interception was huge, and got ahead, and that seemed to change things a little bit.
Quarterback Corey Robinson is now tied for the Sun Belt career record for touchdowns. He threw 1 in the game and now has 76 for his career. He'll try to add to that total in 2 weeks when Troy hits the road to face Western Kentucky. For the volleyball team, after a victory over Georgia State on Friday night, they were looking to make it a sweep this weekend, taking on Louisiana Monroe Sunday. And as Mitchell Spoon shows us, it was a sweep in more ways than one.
On Sunday, the Trojan volleyball team recorded its 6th sweep of the season and 5th sweep at home, defeating the UOM Warhawks. The team found motivation from challenges the coaching staff had given them in preparation for the match.
We gave them challenges through the week that we knew we were going to have a difficult weekend, and it was good to see that they focused on what we were working on, what our game plans were, and for the most part we followed everything the way we wanted it to. And you know, when we work hard and we compete, I really like our team.
The Trojans won the first 2 sets with relative ease, but had to fight for the final set with the victory margin coming by 2 points. Head coach Sonny Kirkpatrick noted one area that he has seen improvement in that assisted in the victory.
Our ball control's gotten a lot better. Ball control is always a process, and from the beginning of the year till now, we're passing pretty well right now, and we just have to keep getting better at it. That's the name of the game. And if we can control the ball, then we have opportunities to score. If not, then that's good for the other team, and we really don't want it to be good for the other team.
Troy posted a season-high attack percentage, and 3 Trojans posted double-figure kills, while the defense held the Warhawks in check for a majority of the match.
Defense played pretty well at points. We flowed well. Transition from defense to offense was pretty good. And, our players stepped up. We're trying to get better quality touches on the block. I don't know what we finished with numbers, but we got some really good quality touches, and that translates directly to offense.
Mitchell Spoon, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
The Trojans are now 4-3 in the Sun Belt and will be back in action on Friday at Texas State. Well, after tying the game in the 88th minute against Georgia State, the Troy soccer team hoped to pull out a win in overtime. However, it just wasn't in the cards for the Trojans as the Panthers added a goal in the final minute of OT to pull out a 2-1 win. Jane Latif's first score of the season was Troy's only goal of the game. Goalie Madison Winter had 7 saves, and the loss dropped the Trojans to 2-3 in conference play. Troy will be back in action Sunday when they play host to South Alabama at the Troy Soccer Complex at 1 o'clock. And on Saturday morning, the Trojan cross-country team was in action on campus, and the athletes had the opportunity to better their chances heading into the conference championships. Saturday, the Trojan cross-country teams competed in the annual Coach O Invitational at home on a newly designed course. The men's team took the top spot while the women finished in third, and head coach Jeff Jenkins said he was impressed by both teams' performances.
Team-wise, the men ran away with the meet. I think we went 1 and then 3, 4, 5, 6. So, the score, I think we scored 16 points when a perfect score is 15. On the women's side, I think we moved up late like we wanted to do. We wanted to work on the middle third of the race. And that's where we really saw a lot of improvement with those ladies. And a few people stepped up a whole lot more than others even. I think we had 3 in the top 10, so it's a good thing to have, is have 3 girls that are finishing right there back to back to back.
Jenkins implemented a different strategy for the men's team in this race, and one that proved to be beneficial in the end.
After the mile mark, we had a pack of guys sitting in about 4th place. Anybody was in 4th. They were just all so close together. They come through the 2 mile, and it was very, very similar scene. I saw Enoch top the hill and pulling his guys together. He was looking around, making sure that he had everybody with him, and we kind of let the dog off the leash, so to speak, and told him he can go get the other guys. And I think they must have had at least 200 meters on him, but he caught them both and pulled away, and I think he beat them by 200 meters.
This is the final regular season home meet for the Trojans, but not the last time these athletes will run this course. Troy is the host site for the 2013 Sun Belt Cross Country Championships on November 2nd.
Well, I talked to the team after the race, and they talked about which areas are the most important to them, which areas do they think we need to spend a lot of time on and work hard on. They singled out a couple different places that we need to do some work on, so we're definitely going to spend a little bit more time on those areas. Georgia State was smart to come to this meet and see what it's going to be like, and nobody else is going to be able to see that. And so I can't even put a value on what that's going to do for our team going in 3 weeks from Sun Belt Championships.
The cross-country team will be back on the road this weekend as they travel to the Crimson Classic in Tuscaloosa on Friday. So Jamarlo, Christina, football team able to pull out a big victory in conference play on Saturday, not in action this week, so a little time to rest and recover, but that doesn't mean Trojan sports aren't in action because there's still plenty of exciting action to come this weekend with volleyball and soccer as well as cross country.
Right, well, we wish the best for all of our teams, and we hope that our football team, they get plenty of rest so they can get ready for the following week for another victory, we hope.
Well, that's right. It's Western Kentucky, another big conference game, so we'll hope for the best.
All right, thanks so much,
Thank you,
Danielle.
Danielle.
Thanks, guys.